Have you ever spent an entire day thinking about what someone said? A text message, a look, a comment, a tone, a social media post. And the whole time you're wondering, was that about me? Did I do something wrong? Why would they say that? Why would they treat me like that? Let me ask you something. How much of your life have you spent carrying emotional weight that wasn't even yours to carry? Think about that. How much energy have you wasted trying to figure out why someone else acted the way that they acted? Trying to understand people who don't understand themselves. Trying to make sense of behavior that was never about you in the first place. Because here's the truth. The day you stop taking everything personally is the day you become emotionally free. And most people never reach that level, you see. Today, we're going to talk about why people take things personally, why it drains your confidence, your peace, your energy, and how your entire life changes when you finally stop making yourself the center of everyone else's behavior. Because trust me, this realization is a game changer. Let's start with something that might sound harsh at first. Most things people do have absolutely nothing to do with you. I know, it doesn't feel that way though, right? When someone ignores your text, it feels personal. When someone doesn't support your dream, it feels personal. When someone criticizes you, it feels personal. When someone walks away, it feels personal. But think about it. Every person you meet is carrying their own fears, their own insecurities, their own stress, their own wound, their own beliefs, their own limitations. They're reacting to life through their lens, not yours. You see, a person who constantly criticizes people usually have criticizing living inside of them. A person who constantly judges people is usually judging themselves. A person who constantly tries to tear people down often feels small inside. That's not an excuse though. It's an explanation. And those are two different things. You see, the problem is that many people take someone else's behavior and immediately turn it into a statement about their own worth. And that's where the suffering begins. Now let's talk about why this happens. Because if you're human, you've done it. We've all done it. Someone acts differently. Suddenly you're replaying the conversation in your head, analyzing the details, creating stories, making assumptions, trying to figure out what happened. Why? Because the human mind hates uncertainty. We would rather create an explanation than admit we don't know. So if someone pulls away, our brain often says, it must be me. If someone seems upset, I must have done something. If someone rejects us, something must be wrong with me. But what if that's not true? What if they're just overwhelmed? What if they're the one that's struggling? What if they're dealing with something that they haven't told anyone? What if they're emotionally immature? What if they're projecting their own pain? Here's what most people don't realize. Taking everything personally often creates more pain than the actual situation itself. The event hurts, but the story you tell yourself about the event hurts even more. Let that sink in. And you know what's exhausting? Living your life based on other people's reaction. Trying to make sure everyone approves. Trying to make sure nobody gets upset. Trying to make sure that nobody misunderstands you. Trying to make sure that everybody likes you. And that's an impossible job. And some of you have been working that job your entire life. You've been managing people's emotions, managing people's expectations, managing people's opinions, managing people's perceptions. Meanwhile, who's managing your happiness? Who's protecting your peace? Who's protecting your dreams? Because when you're constantly worried about what everybody else thinks, you stop being yourself. You start editing yourself, shrinking yourself, explaining yourself, apologizing for yourself. You become a watered down version of who you really are. And that's a high price to pay for acceptance. Now, have you ever noticed something about confident people? They aren't confident because everyone likes them. They're confident because they understand that everyone won't. Huge difference. You see, confident people don't waste their lives trying to control opinions because they know it's impossible. No matter what you do, someone will disagree. Someone will misunderstand. Someone will judge. Someone will criticize. Someone will project. Someone will dislike you for reasons that have nothing to do with you. And once you accept that, you become dangerous in the best possible way because now you're free. Free to pursue your goals, free to pursue your purpose, free to build your future, free to take risks, free to be authentic, free to stop asking permission to exist. Think about how much more powerful you would be if you stopped giving random people's opinions control over your emotions. Seriously, how much further would you be right now? You see, the day you stop taking everything personally, you stop reacting to everything. You become more observant, less reactive, more intentional. You stop chasing explanations. You stop chasing closure. You stop chasing validation. And something incredible happened. Your energy comes back. The energy that used to go toward worrying, overthinking, or analyzing, or replaying things in your mind, or all that people pleasing, now gets redirected towards your goal, your growth, your healing, your future. And that's where transformation starts. Not when people change, when you change. Because the truth is, waiting for everyone else to behave differently is a losing strategy. Learning how to respond differently, that's power. And honestly, this is one of the reasons I wrote Phoenix. Because so many people are trying to rebuild their confidence while still giving other people's opinions control over their emotions. You cannot fully rise into your next chapter if you're constantly looking around for permission. At some point, you have to trust yourself enough to keep moving forward, even when not everybody understands where you're going. Now, I want to give you a question. And this question has helped me more times than I can count. Whenever somebody says something, does something, judges you, criticizes you, rejects you, misunderstands you, ask yourself, what if this isn't about me? That's it. Simple, but powerful. Because that one question creates space, and space gives you options. Instead of reacting emotionally, you become curious. Instead of assuming, you observe. Instead of internalizing, you evaluate. And many times you'll realize this was never about me. This was about their fear, their perspective, their limitations, their unresolved issues, their expectations, their story, not mine. And the day you stop taking everything personally, you stop giving away pieces of yourself. You stop allowing every comment, opinion, criticism, rejection, misunderstanding, and disappointment to determine how you feel about yourself. You realize something incredibly powerful. Other people's behavior is information. It is not your identity. Understand this. Listen. Other people's behavior is information. It is not your identity. And when you truly understand that, you become more calmer, stronger, more confident, more focused, more emotionally free, because your self-worth is no longer being determined by people who are still trying to figure out themselves. So here's the question I want to leave you with today. How much of your emotional energy are you giving away by taking things personally that were never actually about you? Think about that, because the answer to that question might completely change your life. And if this message resonated with you, let me know in the comments. What is the one thing you're no longer taking personal? I'd love to hear your answers. You see, the more you understand yourself, the less power other people's opinions have over your future. Peace, blessings, love, and power.